Mike and Peggy Haywood lived with their 3 children in the suburbs of Mesa, Arizona. When their kids came home from school on the afternoon of October 20th, 1994, they never imagined that for 8-year-old Michael, it might be the last time.
When he was 3, he had a case of pneumonia. Ever since then, Michael's had some asthma.
Kids, when we're ready!
During the summer, he did pretty good, but I still would say he probably had 2 or 3 treatments every day. But when school started and fall came and it got colder, it started blowing around more, he started getting 5 or 6 treatments a day. Well, that's good. Did Mr. Ragu give you a hard time about talking today? No, you're okay? Because I didn't know too much about asthma, I guess I just figured that's what he would have to live with.
When he gets asthma treatment, sometimes he reads, sometimes he likes to sit down and play Nintendo, and when Mom would give it to him through the night, he would sleep. All right, I'm going to go take a shower then.
All right. Michael is a trooper. That's why I think we let it go so long, too, is because Michael didn't complain too much.
11-year-old Natalie was Michael's older sister.
When Michael's having trouble breathing, I can't help him, but I wish I could. I love my brother.
What are you doing on your graphs now, Natalie?
I need to know what to hire for Thursday.
Well, gee, Thursday was kind of cold, so I'd say...
Mom, I need another treatment.
Michael, what's the matter? Are you okay?
Yeah.
You never had to have him this soon. You're supposed to wait for about 4 hours. Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah.
But you feel like you need another treatment? I didn't see him breathing heavy or anything. He's always come on slow. We've been able to keep it under control. Hey, Mike. The doctors had told us not to give him too many medications without calling and consulting him. So I went in to talk to my husband and said, what do I do?
I don't feel so good.
Peggy! He was sweating bullets. I felt his heart, and it was beating really fast. And I said, Peggy, I'm going to give him another treatment.
I'm going to call the doctor, okay?
All right, we got to get some medicine down you, Mike.
But then Michael started to panic.
Breathe deep now. Mike, you got to keep the mask down on your mouth. It looked like he was fighting for air, like he was underwater, and he was trying to swim to the top, and it wasn't helping.
Yeah. The nurse said to try to give him some warm water, easing those muscles so that they're not so tight and tense.
Michael, settle down here. Peggy.
He was climbing up the couch, and I felt really, really scared.
Talk to me, Mike. All right?
I was still talking to the nurse, and she goes, well, if you think you can get in, come in right away. If not, to dial 911 if there was an emergency.
Michael, we got to go, Peggy. Come on.
Yeah, we'll talk to you, Mike. We thought we had time. We thought we could make it to the doctor's office. It's only a couple miles away.
I was trying to keep my wits about me, thinking, man, I got to obey the speed limits. Don't try to put everybody in jeopardy. Just try to get down there as quick as you can. Come on, Mike.
Hurry. Hurry.
I'm hurrying.
I said, I don't think he's going to make it to the doctor's office. And just as I said that, his head just completely went back, and he stopped breathing completely.
Stop! We gotta stop at the fire station. He's not gonna make it. Help! Help!
I did not take my finger off. I was bringing with one, I was pounding with the other, and I was just screaming. Because all I could see was when he was laying there in the car, not breathing. This is your son. And it was really scary.
I tilted his head back, tried to open his mouth, and it was clamped shut. And I tried to pry and pry to get it open, and it wouldn't come open.
At the Mesa Fire Station, dinner was being prepared by the shift on duty, led by Captain Jim Baird.
We'd just come back from call about 15 minutes before. Had been getting a lot of kids in the park coming and ringing our buzzer.
Hey, let's go get something.
He's not breathing.
The next thing I remember is the fireman grabbing him and pulling him out of the car to one side.
What's wrong with him?
It's asthma! It's asthma!
They just brought him out of the car and laid him right down there on the concrete. He was not breathing. There was nothing.
Dispatch, ambulance code 3. Put a helicopter on standby.
Aye, copy.
Gary Stapley was the paramedic on duty.
The little boy was as close to death as anyone I have ever seen without being dead.
I put my hand on his wrist initially. I couldn't find a pulse. Then I moved up to his neck.
Okay, we got a really weak pulse. It's about 40. It's maybe 40.
When you find a child in this condition, it's like starting a race 10 yards behind everybody else. You got to make up all that distance in 1 extra yard to win.
Relax, hang in there, Michael.
You hear the firemen say, he's not breathing. If he can't start breathing pretty soon, we're going to stick a tube down his, lungs. And all I could just think is, please don't take him.
What kind of medication is it that he's using?
Benylin? His son, Benylin?
I pulled out a drug called epinephrine, which is a very powerful stimulant for the heart. It also causes the lungs to dilate.
Bagging him. Give me this change. Fair. Not the much air movement at all.
It's happened before where I've done all the right things and it didn't work.
Yep, he's on board.
Let's just hope, man. I hope this works.
Okay, time now. Okay. Hey, do you want to work? Okay, we got some respiratory effort. Come around, man.
You could see his chest start to rise again, and it was the best feeling ever to see that, because you knew there was a chance.
Michael, you're doing great, buddy. You are doing great, man. You're hanging in there.
They started giving him treatments of all different kinds. Got an IV in him, and Michael started becoming coherent again.
Medication right now.
No,
No, I already poked you once. I'm not going to poke you again.
I was a happy man.
At that point, I started thinking about my daughters and their asthma. And that's when your own emotions kick in. The mom and dad were not the mom and dad to me. It was more like I was in their situation looking at my daughter in that helicopter flying away.
Thank you.
We got to visit with mom and dad for about 4 or 5 minutes before I found the surprise in the station.
We had left dinner on the stove, and we had to make alternate plans for dinner, and we had to blow a little bit of smoke out of the station when we were done with this whole thing.
It was more embarrassing than anything to have a fire station catch fire. But in this situation, I think administration understands.
8-year-old Michael Haywood spent one night in the hospital for observation.
The paramedics had said it was good that we had come to them because most likely in this life-threatening situation, the doctors wouldn't have had the right equipment. I'm not sure that they wouldn't have had call 911 themselves.
Here you have this wonderful child that doesn't ever complain, and with snap of the fingers, he could have been lost. He could have been gone. What if the firemen would have been out on a call and not been there? What would we have done then?
Next time, we would just call 911 first.
How you feeling? Michael's doing better, I hope.
Michael now sees a doctor who specializes in asthma, pediatric pulmonologist Peggy Rattray.
We found that most people cannot tell when they're having trouble severe enough to know if they need more medication or less. And particularly children, they tend to go until the last minute.
Okay, looks like you're kind of hanging out in your yellow zone today. So looking at your action plan.
As we found out, Michael's probably been breathing through what would be like a straw for quite a while. I tried sticking a straw in my mouth and walked around for a few hours trying to cook dinner and just thought I was going to pass out.
Good job.
Sometimes the children just become used to that. They don't know that there's any difference.
Just can't get through those airways. Pretty gunky.
Some of those children, once we get them treated for their asthma, start them on the correct medications, will thrive. They grow better just because they feel better. And it's taking less energy to breathe.
Oh,
He's like his dad. He's a jock. He's a hot dog. He likes to show off, and he likes to fall down and act like he's hurt and get up and go at it again. He's going to get there.
Michael and I like to play basketball. Sometimes football we pass. He's kind of wild now. He's kind of brave, too.
All right, Michael.
Now, we made it close to this. Was our family thing, so we just wanted to thank you. You are lifesavers for us.
I'm glad the firemen went to school to learn that stuff so they could save my life. And I feel like I owe them something, or like a new convertible or something like that.
We brought you some pizza to kind of make up for the dinner you didn't get the other.
He knows my weakness. It's probably less than a half mile from their house to the station. And in that half mile, he went from being a moderately sick boy to literally on the edge of dying.
Close to Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Michael.
If you think anybody in your house is in danger, you don't even have to know it. Just think it. You call 911. If the closest station isn't available, they'll track down the next closest unit, and we'll get someone to you. You can ring our buzzer anytime you want, okay? You're the only kid in the park. You can ring our buzzer anytime you want.
Oh, wow, hey. And in with the fireman, all right. And I look at him sitting on the floor, you know, playing Nintendo or doing the things he does every day. And I think he could have just as easily not be here.
You're welcome.
You can't tell him thank you enough. I mean, there's nothing you could do that you mean so much.
Next.
I heard the whole conversation, and the thing that sent chills down my spine was when he said, "I'm here to solve your problems."